Quave by John Parnell. Narrated by Peter James Morris. Prologue. The Fall of Courtois. Erlenbach, near Zurich, Switzerland. The three firm knocks on Dieter Bohm's front door came very early on a Sunday morning, and they were as unexpected as they were unwelcome. Bohm grumbled sleepily as he padded through his spacious apartment, past the Bosendorfer grand piano and the Matisse, wondering why the hell Klaus downstairs hadn't buzzed him. Probably asleep on the job again. Three unfamiliar faces stared back at him through the peephole. "Yes?" he inquired. "Herr Bohm?" "Ja." "We are with the Bundeskriminalpolizei, sir. Kindly open the door." It was a request made politely, but with a firmness which left Bohm certain that a second request would be far less so. Bohm pulled his dressing gown more firmly around his portly frame. The Federal Criminal Police! His heart began to race alarmingly. "What's the matter?" he asked, doing his best to keep an even tone despite the anxiety suddenly surging within him. Bohm immediately found that he was right about the tenor of the request. "Open the door, mein Herr, or we will open it by force." Trudy peered around the bedroom door. "Dieter," she asked in a loud, worried whisper. "Was ist los?" She was blonde, tall, 19 or so she'd always claimed, and clad only in impossibly skimpy lingerie. He waved her away. "Go back to bed, mein Schatz. They have the wrong apartment, I think." 5 thudding, insistent knocks proved otherwise. "Open the door, Herr Bohm. You may regret making this difficult." Bohm sighed, his broad shoulders sagging, and took a couple of deep breaths before sliding back the 2 bolts and single thick chain. He opened the door just enough to see that one of the 3 men was holding up an official-looking document. "We have a warrant for your arrest," the officer declared, "and another to search the premises." "Arrest?" Bohm blurted. "On what charge?" 2 of the 3 men pushed past the stun banker and headed directly for the study, where Bohm's personal computer and business files were kept. "Conspiracy to defraud the state," the officer read from the warrant. "Money laundering, wire fraud, the breaking of 2 different trade embargoes." "Was?" Bohm shrieked. "There's been some mistake. I work for Courtois, the bank in Zurich. They will vouch for me. I've never done anything." The officer held up a hand, though he was transcribing every last word into a handheld tablet. "We have to remind you that everything you say may be used as evidence in court." This silenced Bohm, who watched in horror as the 2 officers began comprehensively searching his study and preparing to remove his desktop computer. "And I'm authorized to inform you that all 7 other members of the Courtois Board of Directors are being arrested as we speak. Do you have a lawyer on retainer?" Bohm managed to nod. His world was coming apart far faster than he ever imagined it might. The entire board? How was this possible? "I suggest that you call him," the officer advised. "He's going to be extremely busy on your behalf over the next few months." The federal officers were courteous enough to allow Bohm a moment in his bedroom, where he discreetly paid Trudy the usual amount, plus a generous tip to ensure her discretion, and ushered her out. Then he called Willie Scheidman, and hurriedly, his fingers fumbling nervously over the buttons, dressed in a navy blue suit and silver tie. He combed back what remained of his thinning, almost white hair, slapped on some cologne, and returned to face the officers. "This is an outrage," he seethed as his computer and 2 boxes of documents were taken downstairs. The most senior of the 3 officers, who looked like he boxed as a light heavyweight in his free time, regarded him icily. "We did remember our handcuffs, Herr Bohm, if you'd prefer not to leave your home, your dignity intact, and I'm told that a small group of journalists are waiting outside the building." "Shit," Already? How the hell? He chose bluster, as he often did when cornered. My lawyers will tear you all apart, he informed them haughtily as he followed the three men to the elevators. But I suppose I'll come along and see what this nonsense is all about. Willie Scheidman hated repeating himself, but Bohm simply wasn't listening. Dieter, for the love of Christ, I'm telling you to say absolutely nothing until I get there. Something has happened with the bank's computers. Something serious. Firmly ensconced within the rosy, sunlit world of denial, Bohm had already said far more than Scheidman would have preferred, and that was in the back of the car on the way to the police station. It's all hearsay and speculation, Bohm told his lawyer with the kind of supreme, heedless certainty in his own infallibility which had served him in professional life for nearly 40 years. Scheidman dodged slower traffic in his BMW and made full use of the relaxed speed restrictions on the Autobahn, which took him south from Munich and toward the border with Switzerland. Listen to me, I implore you. Someone cracked open the bank's security, and they know everything. All of the secure document folders were copied, all of the transaction records. The engineers are still trying to assess the extent of the damage, but whoever did this, they know what you had for breakfast. He decided to add a drop of acid to the cocktail of incrimination panic. And what kind of underwear you bought for Trudy last week? Say nothing to them, Scheidman reiterated, swerving hard back into the fast lane and gunning the BMW's engine once more. I'll be out by lunchtime, Bohm told him, and then we'll laugh about all of this. He's completely fucking deluded, Scheidman cursed inwardly as Bohm ended the call. Few bankers in the checkered history of their dark arts will have ever found themselves so naked as Bohm soon would. He pictured the overweight, overbearing asshole his client was so clearly demonstrating himself to be, sitting there in the police station with an all-knowing smile on his corpulent face, discourteously denying everything and assuming that, as it always had, the law would protect him. But not this time, Scheidman knew. The case was 2 hours old, but he already knew Courtois, for all its long history and gold-plated political connections, to be a sinking ship. The only question now was exactly how many of Bohm's friends would be drowning alongside him.